Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to the World Series. Today we've got Sexiie in the north on Tournament Desert in the pink with Stealth, and in the south we've got Infinity, which is actually SR Exile. I think that's the name he signed up under, is Exile. So yeah, never players signing up under one name and then playing under another. It always confuses me. But yes, we've got Sexiie against Exile. We've got Nuke against Stealth. We've got Fake Barracks for Sexiie. Probably going to be doing some terrorists, try and defend against any trucks. Maybe the occasional hijacker. Big decision for Sexiie is, does he want to do an arms dealer? I always talk about how arms dealer in the early game is pretty useless against a decent nuke player. Sometimes better just to do more workers and more tunnels and skip the arms dealer. So on this right hand side we've got a supply going up, left hand side we've got a supply going up. Looks like the perfect supply, decent from Exile. And it is looking like he's going to skip the arms dealer, which I really like. On this left hand side he's doing a nice quick tunnel as well. There is a truck going over here though, so it's probably going to be able to stop that worker as long as Exile's paying attention, which he is, straight on the ball. And this game is looking good already, but he hasn't run over the worker. Of course, what Exile can see, he can't see that scaffold, so he doesn't know which position the tunnel is facing. That can always be a little bit problematic. He does beacon it, so he knows exactly where it is. Perfect supply placement from Exile. Those are also over here, probably looking to run over more workers. A little bit dangerous, and he's probably going to get chased away by this terrorist. It looked like the oil capture was out for Sexiie. I think he was late building that one though. I don't know why he didn't build that one first. He might have got the capture upgrade in the meantime. He has got the capture upgrade. So I think he built the capture upgrade before he built that rebel, so that's a mistake. He should have that rebel already there, already capturing it. This tunnel on the left hand side has been cancelled now. Sexiie realising he can't finish that off. There's probably going to be units there. Dozer has messed up the perfect supply truck placement. Sexiie now managing to get this oil, and it makes a big difference here. If Exile is able to stop this or not, it's going to play a big part in the game. This supply truck is still on a rampage on this left hand side. Exile is paying attention. Luckily for Sexiie, he does escape though, so he can come back and capture that later on. It also provides a scout. He is capturing the other oil in the meantime. We've got an arms dealer now finally going up from Sexiie, which I also really like. Sexiie playing this really well. One worker going down. All the workers have been chased away though. And we now got a hijacker out from Sexiie. And the ground has been force fired here. I think he thinks the tunnel is still there. He should realise now that it's not, because he's got the outpost there. On this right hand side we've got a GAT creeping in. Palace also going up. Quad being produced, probably just in case any helixes are out. I would like to see a few more tunnels in the middle. This truck is still alive. That's got to be the longest lasting truck on a rampage in a GLA's base that probably I've ever seen, or one of. GAT is going to get in the back, but I'm pretty sure it can't get in there, and I'm pretty sure it can't shoot through there either, so it's not going to cause too much damage. GAT is now just sitting idle, but it is providing a bit of scout. He now knows that the enemy's going to Palace. What is Exile doing behind this? Is now going to Propaganda Center. It's very defensive, this build order. Hijacker is going to walk into the GAT unless Sexie's paying attention, which he is. He's going to move it back. This GAT is also one of the longest lasting GATs to be in the GLA's base. It's gone all the way through and provided the scout. We've got a Battle Master in the supply line here. It's going to be causing some harassment, and Sexie's not going to be able to know if he's going to be able to collect or not. These RPGs are going to kill it though, and the Battle Master's not paying attention. It's just going to go down. One RPG surviving, one worker going low. Do have a hijacker in the base, and I think Exile is playing very defensive. He needs to be causing damage now, because as soon as that Palace is out, there's going to be Jarman out and Buses out, and that's going to cause huge damage for the nuke player. Of course, this is the first game, and it's the World Series round 1, and Exile is not against an easy player. Sexie's a very decent player. GG for the hijacker. Exile did a really good job at defending against that hijacker. I mean, the GAT, the mines. Truck's going to go back and collect now as well. Exile playing this extremely safe. Both players playing this extremely safe. Sexiie now slowing down a little bit and not putting his RPGs inside of the inside of the bunker on the right hand side. Oil is now being captured, and Exile all of a sudden has pretty scary army. He's got ECMs in the mix, Battle Masters. He's got the speaker on the Overlord. He's now going to try and make a push. Ooh, that was very close. He actually cleared out most of the... I think there's one RPG left inside of there. It's very unlucky for Exile that one still survived. With the ECMs though, probably wouldn't cause that too much damage, but it would have been nice if the Flamer got tucked behind there and did a Flame Wall. That whole area then would have been taken over, and it could have changed this game. Now we've got Jarman out because Exile played this so safe and so slowly. Jarman and Busters are going to be out, and that Overlord, once that gets picked off, this army is going to have a real hard time without the strength of that Overlord. And also when Sexiie captures it, which he is going to do now with the Jarman, very nice. Even with the Jarman, it's still worth it because you're gaining a $2,000 unit. Actually, $2,500 because of the speaker tower, with only a $1,500 unit. So still worth it. Unless the Overlord dies, of course, then it's probably, well, actually, definitely not worth it. The Overlord needs to come back alive because it's going to take so much damage that it's going to go down. It is going to go down. So now that is a Vet 2 unit and loads of XP gained because you've killed a nice chunky unit. A unit going down there. Exile, after playing it all so safe, he just kind of charged through the center. His engagement there didn't go well, and his engagement here didn't go well. You need a lot more Overlords than that. Just charging with one Overlord and a few units to back it up is not the right thing to do. And it's looking like Sexiie is in the lead right now. We've got a speaker tower going up. Don't really like that because you don't need it. Yeah, it's healing a few units back here, but they could just move up with the with this Overlord. Lots of quads out, and Bus also out. This whole left-hand side is going to go down. Only a matter of time before that oil gets taken out, I think. Supply going up on the right-hand side. Sexiie, of course, is already on 3 supplies, so now he's on 4. Jarman a little bit ambitious there, and I think he's probably going to go down now. Yeah, he's going to go down. Overlord does manage to save itself. We've got a new cannon out. We've got a quad push on this left-hand side, and the outpost is going down. Sorry, not the outpost. The oil has gone down now. So Exile is going to shortly be out of cash because this supply here is going to be mined out. It's going to be on 1 supply. This bunker is being taken out the brute force way by the new cannon. Exile, in my opinion, though, is playing this whole game so slow, and this is the reason. You don't want to be against Busters and Jarman in a stealth new game. You want to cause some damage nice and early. These Gats doing an immense amount of damage to those Busters. One Bus has completely gone down to the shell, and it's probably going to be saved by the quads. The quads are going to take that out. There are a lot of mines here, though. Mines on the Gats, something you don't often see. There are plenty of mines here, though, so probably that Bus is going to go down if he moves any closer forward, I would say. Yeah, it's going to go down. And I think he probably doesn't know that there's mines there either. But they're going to shortly disappear. This one's taking some damage. Command Center is taking loads of damage, but now is the time to move back for Sexiie, I would say. But these ECMs are not being microed, they're just being allowed to disable stuff, and then before they're all going to go down. If you kept them ECMs moving using the Alt key, loads of XP gain there. Vet 2 unit, but also a Command Center is worth a load of points, so you'll be getting things like Anthrax Bomb and level 5 and stuff. Exile is completely getting wrecked at the moment. He's rebuilding his Command Center, but he's awfully close to this Overlord. Sexiie choosing to let the Dozer live, but Exile had already taken way too much damage. His downfall there was completely just playing way too safe. You can't play... I know it's the first game and you want to play safe, but you just can't play... you just can't play that safe. It's just way too defensive. And then kind of first push, or the first and second push through the middle both kind of failed, so or both definitely failed. So yeah, well played by Sexiie. Definitely looking like the stronger player in this first game. Let's see if Exile can turn it around in the second game. Okay, so we're on Melting Snow, snowy map. We've got Sexiie in the bottom right with pink nuke, and in the top left we've got Exile, aka Infinity, with the USA laser and the cyan colour. This is looking like a bit of army luck for Exile. Of course, laser, cheap Vs, $700. Just making Vs and missile defenders is going to be causing problems for Sexie's nuke. all day long, but let's see what Sexiie can do. This map isn't too bad for it, because if he just does two war factories and then sends like a first GAT over here, you can just park here and you can basically stop the enemy collecting. Exile going for a drop. Let's see how this works out for him. It's a little bit different. Normally you would just see a war factory and a barracks, or you'd probably see like a barracks and a laser turret or a fire base over here, and then maybe a later war factory. But Exile choosing to go for the drop, and if his laser lock is on point, he can cause some big damage here, but it's really micro intensive. And laser lock some trucks, so the trucks are going to be pushed away, so already that's a slight win because you're chasing them away. Those missile defenders are going to need to chill now. Okay, now is the chance to laser lock, and he's not paid attention. This is a big investment that you're doing here. One truck is actually going to go down. Not sure he could have killed two there anyway, but he could kill this one now. But he's choosing just to fight the red guard instead. The dozer does go down, and another truck is going to take some damage. But that truck could have gone down. That's a big difference. So this has actually only achieved a little bit of delayed mining time and only one truck killed, and it forced him to make some red guard. But that's probably, in my opinion, not so worth it, because now Nuke isn't in such a bad situation. He's only lost one truck. Do have a GAT at the top. It's going to stop Exile from mining. Exile is paying attention. He's got a unit in there that has taken some damage. I don't think that starts... Does it start on full health? Can't remember now. He's going to take quite a bit of damage, but it's going to kill the GAT, and that's what he wanted to do. So he's now collecting back on 4 nukes. Sexie's rebuilt his truck as well. I'm now going to do a little bit of aggression of his own. Got a few infantry. He needs to have them more grouped up, and I would recommend having 5 of tank hunters grouped together with a couple of red guards. It's going to be a lot harder for Exile to deal with. Got 4 tank hunters here as well. Sexiie at the moment just kind of spamming loads of tank hunters, which actually is not a bad idea, but they do cost 350 if I'm not mistaken for nuke, so it's an expensive investment. Every one you produce is a 50 more loss compared to the normal China. The V's are going to see this GAT, and they're probably going to be able to kill that nice and easily without taking too much damage. The GAT was also walking around, so it didn't cause as much damage to the V's when it's stationary and spins up. Tank hunters are going to get inside here, and they're going to just destroy that because there's 4v1. Ambulance is going first against the GAT, probably going to take a little bit of damage, but yeah, it is going to take a bit of damage, but Sexiie needs to... that is good at targeting that, but now he needs to target something else because it's going to go down. But in the meantime, we've got a dozer going down, building the firebase. Unlucky for Exile, it's going to finish on 82%. Exile at this point should recognise that there's a massive infantry spam and should be making flashbangs and firebases. He does have the money for a firebase, probably do like a firebase there. This is a big push from Sexiie now. He has got his tank hunters grouped together. V taking some damage, going to escape with his life though, so actually not bad micro from Exile. But at the top here we've got some tank hunters going in. Exile choosing to go and fight them, but he needs to switch to ToV missiles. He needs to cancel that, and he needs to get some flashbangs up. As long as he micros these correctly, there's not enough tank hunters to really take down these Vs, so actually he's doing really well. And each one of them that's lost is for Sexiie 350. There's a drone back here, and Sexiie actually doesn't have that much back at home. Is this going to be first of Exile's mistakes? Yeah, V micro not 100% on point. It's lost 1 V. Not so bad, it's still worth it for the amount of stuff that he's killed. Losing 1 V is definitely not bad. So that whole top push has been completely negated. I would definitely be getting ToV missiles. You can have a much easier time dealing with all of these with ToV missiles. Ambulance going down, so that's one more mistake. Didn't really need to lose that. So Exile's doing a little bit of a push of his own down here. It's probably going to get in and cause some damage to the trucks. Meanwhile, Sexiie looks like he's taking off the pressure a little bit, just because the tank hunters are so slow to walk across all the map. I definitely would be doing a firebase here so you can lock this choke point off, because you're having to keep going back over there, and it's causing problems. Exile is trying to do, in my opinion, a little bit too much here. He's got a V in the supply line that's going to be stationary now, but he's also sending an ambulance back. I thought he was going to run over some stuff, but actually Exile's doing a pretty good job at this multitasking. He's managing to clear up all of this and micro this pretty well as well, but now he's trapped in this corner. I think there's got 5 missile defenders in there, so he should be able to cause targeting the truck a little bit. Didn't evac either. If he didn't target the truck, he probably would have killed that GAT and he probably would have survived, but because of that, little mistakes like that cost you, sometimes cost you games. It might cost him this game, but he still has a load of Vs. Still no Toby missile, which I really just don't understand. All of these tank hunters probably should be going down now. You just stay there. Toby missiles are now up. If he'd have just stayed there though and killed the building, I think he would have been able to kill all them tank hunters without taking any damage. But he looks like he's going to be able to do that anyway. You see with the Toby missiles how much extra damage he can cause quicker to these tank hunters. Sexiie at this point needs to transition into something else. In my opinion, he's been doing infantry for far too long now, and these Vs are, because they've cleared up so much, loads of them are vetted up. Battlemaster going down there causing a bit of damage. We've got some tank hunters there causing a bit of harassment, but not going to cause too much. Just move them away and just send one V over there. In the meantime, we've got a V push on this top side. Would have been nice if Sexiie transitioned into Propaganda Center sooner rather than doing that next wave of tank hunters. It should have bunkered off a little bit, got in some buildings, held Exile off, and then done the Overlords and ECMs. Search and Destroy is now up. He's now cleared up this as well. Exile building a command center. He has killed quite a bit. Sexiie knows it's GG. Propaganda Center going down. It's going to be hard to hold off against them two V pushes. So well played by Exile, managing to pull this back and to get a win against such a good player as Sexiie is not an easy thing to do. You can see 70 units destroyed for Infinity. That's probably all of the infantry, and it's so expensive. Even though Sexiie collected more, because probably he was harassing the USA player more. So yeah, GG, well played by Exile. So on to the third game, we got Homeland Rocks. I think there is a version 3, or am I thinking of Lagoon? I think I'm thinking of Lagoon. Yeah, never mind. I don't know if this is V2 or V3. Anyway, that's irrelevant. We've got China in the north with Sexiie, and in the south we've got the Cyan GLA player Exile. We've got Fake Barracks, probably going to be going for the cars in the center. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a V3 of this map? I'm not 100% sure. And did they remove the cars on V3? I can't remember. Because in my opinion, the cars should be removed because they are overpowered, and like in this situation, GLA against China Vanilla, those two cars can kill both of the dozers, or they can kill like 2 trucks, or they can like severely damage a supply or a power plant. Mainly killing the trucks and the dozers. It forces the China player to be defensive and make the mines and stuff. I can't remember if there is a V3 or not. So we've got a tunnel going up on this right side. We've got a arms dealer. Pretty normal build order. We heard the car, the little beep. And the car's now going to go for a nice little drive. It does a little bit of a cliff jump off the side of the mountain. And then he's going to go to the left-hand side supply. But there are mines there already. And that's going to take the car down. That second car not being taken. Sexiie doing a bunker on the far left. Sneaky worker going in the not the supply line, but going down the back. It's a weird map, this, because there's not many maps where you've got like a back area like that behind your supplies. They can cause USA big problems, like a GAT or a quad gets there and kill Chinooks and stuff. Got a worker on the right. We've got a technical, and it's going to engage a GAT and actually probably kill the GAT. It's going to need to be scrap denied, which it is. So for anyone who doesn't know what scrap deny is, where Sexiie will place the building over the scrap so that the technical can't scrap up. Some people say it's cheating and blah blah blah. It's not, I don't think, because it takes skill to do it. It's also a risk because you're going to lose a $500 building if Exile kills it straight away. And also, everyone knows that a technical fully scrapped is way overpowered. It can just, one technical can just wreck the whole China army by itself. Loads of mines being killed by the flamer there, and Exile doing a good job at keeping this pressure on, but it's not like real damage. He's not causing real damage. Be nice to pop a few quads out of there and kill that power if you distract him with a tech. We've got a worker just chilling by a bunker, and it's so close that it's not actually been attacked by the bunker. Sexie's probably going to have to really protect that power. Exile's now got a really good surround. He's got a tunnel there, tunnel going up there, although that's going to be denied, but a tunnel on this right as well. So you can do like different attacks on different sides, and the China's going to be running around. This is causing big problems for Sexiie, because he's been forced to do mines on both supplies because of the terror cars mainly. You'll see that it messes up the trajectory of the trucks. They don't do the perfect supply placement. They'll go around the long way and it messes up with it. I don't know why it is. It's a bug. So Exile doing a real good job of keeping this pressure on. Look at this multi-pronged attack, and I love this. Absolutely love it. These quads and the RPGs probably should win that fight, but because Exile is just moving around and the quad's not getting enough damage off, it's not doing him doing much. But he's probably because he's microing over here instead. So Exile doing a really good job of keeping on the pressure. That barrack should be targeted now and go down, because you've got to remember Sexiie now is on 3 supplies. That barrack should eventually go down, even though the dozer is repairing it. One truck has gone down there, one truck has gone down here. Because it's such a big map, it's kind of in GLA's favour. So it's really hard for China to defend. But Sexie's actually not doing such a bad job at the moment. Another truck going down there, so now Sexiie is still on 2 supplies, but soon to be 1, because that supply is going down as well. Exile's doing a really good job, doing exactly what he needs to, causing enough damage. In the meantime, he's just continually just producing quads, nothing else. Technical is going to get low, but he's just going to be able to go in the tunnel and repair. One of the advantages of GLA, you can just run away, go in the tunnel, repair to 100%, and then just pop straight back out. These Gats are all in a line formation, going to be taking huge damage. Not even going to kill 1 quad probably. Maybe 1 will go down, I'm not sure. 2 quads down, 3 quads down because of the mines, but he lost so many Gats, and those 2 are even low. All the trucks are down as well. This supply is now down 2. Flamer's really low, and the Flamer actually, the one that killed that thing there, has now actually got around the back, but Sexiie has taken way too much damage. Exile really keeping on the pressure there, and surprisingly takes the lead with 2-1. Almost identical supplies collected, almost identical units destroyed, but I think a lot of them units that Sexiie lost were from supply trucks, and he lost the important buildings like supplies as well, whereas the buildings lost for Exile will probably almost all, or both of them, will probably tunnels, whereas Sexie's losing supplies and supply trucks. Okay, so what are we on now? Game 4. So we've got Sexiie in the top right with Air on Desolate District or something like that, I think this map's called. Quite a newish map. We've got Exile in the bottom left. Also with Air, so we've got an Air mirror. It's the first time in the World Series so far, in the 2018 one, that we've seen an Air mirror. So let's see how this one goes. Probably going to see 2 supplies and 2 airfields for both players. You always want to place your airfields close to the supply dock so that the Raptors can deflect the missiles, which is exactly what he's doing in both cases. Exile going to do airfields. His probably slightly quicker. I think that one for Sexiie is quicker, but the other 2 are faster than this one, Sexiie. Sexie's air mirror, I think, is really decent and hard, so let's see how Exile can handle this. Will he go for the Chinooks? Sexiie thinks so, because he's actually made 3 Chinooks. The reason he's done 3 Chinooks now is so that that one now is protected by that one, because the point defense lasers. It will still take some damage, but it will still survive when it takes a shot from a Raptor. Exile choosing to make a safe power plant. I think both of them decisions, making an extra Chinook and making an extra power plant, slows your Raptor production down a little bit. So both players opt in on the side of caution. Because he attacked that Raptor there, whilst it was with the other one, it survived. So actually that was a failed attack. Exile also going for 3 Chinooks on that top side. Sexiie targeting both at the same time, almost successful, so both of them are really low now. Sexiie is now coming in with the next raptor. So that one is now going to go down. Does have 3 on both supplies though, so extra safe. This one's also going to go down. Now I at this point would probably, as you've seen in the Air Force tournament that I played, I would be grouping up my raptors and targeting the airfields. I probably wouldn't even be going for the Chinooks. I'd be going for the power plant and be going for the airfield. Keeping the raptor count down so the enemy can't do any damage. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. If you've got 8 raptors and the enemy's got no airfields, then it doesn't matter if he's got 100 grand in the bank or not. You can just continuously pick off his buildings. Sexiie now choosing to do that, killed his airfield, and now Exile's only on 1 airfield. And how many raptors? Those have been picked off, so you'll see now Infinity's got 3k, or Exile, sorry, he's got 3k. But it doesn't make any difference because he's got hardly any raptors, and his dozers are just going to continuously be picked off. These raptors now coming in from the top. Only attacking with 3 raptors. This is very poor now from Exile. The start was kind of okay targeting the Chinooks. I think he killed 1 or 2 Chinooks. But then it's just completely dropped off. Sexie's also now killed this. Exile not paying attention to his raptor. For those who don't know, if the home base of the raptor is killed, the raptor will go and just try and land on the ground and die. Almost died there. Exile saved it just in time. Another dozer going down. Only 1 airfield now up for Exile. But each one of these dozers costs 1,000, so it's such a waste of money. It's continually building and losing dozers. We've now got a 3rd supply going out for Sexie's, also in 3 airfields. See what I mean about Sexie's Air Force is really, really good. Where is Sexiie going to attack now? I think he's going to go for the airfield. And the dozer as well. This is Exile getting completely wrecked. Finally 1 airfield has gone down for Sexiie, but I really think it's too late because there's only ever really 1 airfield up for Exile. Those are surviving there. Another airfield has been killed, or cancelled rather. Another airfield being rebuilt. That one's really low. But Sexie's not taking much damage at all. I think his biggest loss was losing 1 airfield, but he's just going to rebuild it. He's now on 3 supplies as well, so he's got loads of cash. The raptors are continuously coming in and destroying the dozers. Sexiie could probably even just target the command center now. He's got like 5 raptors there, 6, 7. This could just target the command center and just kill all the dozers, and then that's GG. So yeah, Exile now is on a very limited lifespan in this game. He's also going for, I think, the oils. He's got the capture upgrade. But his mistake was targeting too many Chinooks, not killing the power, not killing the airfields quick enough, and unsuccessful attacks on the Chinooks. It's looking real bad for him now. His dozers are all going to get hunted off. I think that's his last one now. Oil now being captured everywhere for Exile. I quite like that, but it's way too late. I think it's going to be GG. We've got the raptors coming in. I can hear stealth Comanches as well. Another airfield going down, so it's only 1 airfield up for Exile now, and Exile is just literally buying himself time. There's no way I can see him winning this. In fact, it's almost impossible unless Sexiie disconnects or something. I can't see any way that Exile's going to win this. Last airfield going down now from the Comanches. Comanches choosing to go in when the raptors have all already fired all the missiles, so this is really just the last hurrah for Exile. GG. Well played by Sexiie. I'm just going to update the score, so we're now on 2-2. Sexiie managing to equalise. See units destroyed. Actually, it doesn't really matter about units destroyed, more about buildings Buildings destroyed in that one. Buildings lost for Exile. 3 times the amount of Sexiie. Only small numbers, but his problem was not killing the airfields, like I said. So GG, well played by Sexiie. Okay, so we're on game 5. We are now on Summer Arena, I believe. We've got Sexiie in the pink in the south with China Nuke, and then in the north we've got Exile, aka Infinity, with the China Vanilla Science. Let's see what Exile can do with this matchup, because he's on an uphill battle. Sexiie having the stronger army. I suppose it's only fair really, because Sexiie had a weaker army earlier when he had China Vanilla against GLA. It wasn't an easy matchup at all. Probably going to see two supplies, 2 war factories from Sexiie, I would imagine. Pretty standard. Infinity, is he going to do the same, or is he going to do a barracks and try and bunker off this left hand side? And then maybe a later helix. That's the one big advantage that China Vanilla has got, is the helixes are cheaper. The bunker helixes are cheaper to produce, because the unit price for the helix is like 350 cheaper, I believe, for China Vanilla, and that all the tank hunters are $50 cheaper. So you can produce more of them, and that's generally how you're going to be beating the nuke player, by the mobility of the helixes. Imperfect supplies for both Sexiie supplies. Trick's having to move, so it's going to slow his production down a little tiny bit. On this right side we've got a bunker, perfect supply placement. It's hard to get it on that one, but it's perfect supply placement from Exile. That's one thing I'm liking. So his money's going to be coming in nice and easy. We're going to fast propaganda center. Exile kind of leaving this middle wide open. We've got a tank hunter there, but it's not going to do anything against even a GAT, a Battlemaster. It's not going to do anything against a Flamer for sure. The Flamer's actually now getting in, probably going to kill the power plant. I'm not sure if Exile's going to be able to defend that. Just leaving the middle wide open is not a good idea. I like bunkering off the sides. He's now building a power nice and quick, because he knows it's going to go down. Sold it as well, so the enemy doesn't get the XP. Outpost sitting idle here. And this Flamer is going to get in and cause some massive damage. Just leaving the middle of the base wide open like that is not a good idea. You want to bunker off all sides. Propaganda center now going out late. Sexiie is expecting a helix, that's why he spread GATs like all over the map. So this bunkered side here is going to be stopping Sexiie going in. That's pretty nice. We have got a bunker here as well, so it's going to stop most attacks. Exile waiting a little bit too long now, and I'm not sure why he's going propaganda center. Is he trying to get a fast Lotus out so he can get the oils? I think that's what he's going to try and do. But really, you want to be spamming mass helixes, because if you had like 3 or 4 helixes now, instead of the propaganda center, instead of losing that power plant because you let a silly Flamer through the middle, and instead of having to build and sell that supply, could have like 3 or 4 helixes instead, and then just fly in and just like pick off units, so like kill all them nice and easy. You could fly in, kill that, you could kill this. And then the only way Sexie's going to be able to defeat that is just by continuously spamming loads and loads of GATs, and that's when you make something else. That's when you like make tanks or whatever. Or you just fly around the GATs. When the GATs sat down one side, you fly on the other side. It's still going to be hard, and it's still an imbalanced matchup, but it's better than... I don't know what he's going for at the moment. Looks like he's going for a fast Lotus and Propaganda Center. Lotus at 4 minutes I think is pretty quick. Lotus may go down here if that GAT is paying attention, but it's not, so the oil is going to be captured. But it's going to be killed pretty soon because it's already on a low HP Flamer. It's going to chase the Lotus out. Tank Hunter being sacrificed. No airfield yet. I don't know what he's going for. He's going for his own Overlords. So okay, he's going to fight Overlords versus Overlords, which is not bad, but the enemy's Overlords are like twice as quick. And they fire radioactive shells, so they're more powerful, so it's going to be an uphill battle. Looking like Exile wants to push down the middle, and then this left-hand side, Sexiie wants to push. Outpost going down. The tank hunters are actually in the bunkers shooting at the other tank hunters, so you don't really want to be doing that. You want to be shooting at the tanks. Even though the ECM there is going to be hard, also you want to have more tank hunters in there. So it's looking like Sexie's going to push in here and probably going to kill the propaganda center, which was Exile's whole strategy. Exile doing a pretty good job of pushing through the center, but we've got one oil for Sexiie there, one oil there. But we've also got one for Exile. Exile not in such a bad situation actually. He's got quite a nice army here in the middle, but he really needs to push now because Sexie's going to have 3 war factories pretty soon. All this left hand side has been completely destroyed. If he had just literally put a few more tank hunters and then bunkers, I just had the one bunker with like 5 tank hunters in there and maybe like 3 in there or something, and probably would have caused massive damage to this. Of course, you don't know what he's going to push with, but just having like 1 or 2 in a few bunkers is not going to stop an Overlord and ECM. As we saw, he only lost 1 outpost to those bunkers. Lotus is probably going to go down for Exile. Overlord is dangerously close to the bunker, going to take quite a bit of damage, but I think it's going to survive just. Exile not paying attention and going inside that bunker. This Overlord here is going to go down. That whole army has gone down now, actually. This bunker is going to cause some damage to the gap, but I think this Overlord's going to win the engagement. Even with 3 or 4 tank hunters, it's still so low now that it's going to take so much damage. Overlord probably going to escape. That Flamer is still being left. Sexie's now coming to capture the other oil, so he's going to be on 3 oils pretty quick. Or pretty soon. This game does mean a lot because this means the player who wins this is going to be 3-2 up, and that means you only need to win 1 more game, and then you're through. The other player's going to have to win the next 2 in a row if you lose this, and it's looking like it's going to be Sexie's game. He has got the overpowered army. He's got so many Overlords here. They're so quick. He's got GATs and ECMs mixed in, but no Helix has no air force from Exile. And these bunkers were just only a few. Actually, even that bunker was full. Even if there was like 2 full bunkers there, it's going to have a real hard time dealing with this army. It's just so much now for Sexiie. Sexie's also on so much money because he's on like 3 oils. He's on a 3rd supply. Or actually, it's a 4th supply, isn't it? Because he's got this too. Massive engagement here from Sexie's continuously pushing Exile back wherever he kind of wants to with this army. Exile going to send his units, and he's sending the weakest units first though, and they're going to die, but really there's no way, even if you send everything you've got at this army now, it's just so strong, so many ECMs, so many GATs. Actually there's only 2 ECMs, but so many Overlords and GATs. With the speaker tower bonus as well, they're all going to be firing at like a little bit faster rate. They're going to be health regenerating as well, so well played by Sexiie. He did have the stronger army and did feel a little bit for Exile in that matchup, but I really think if he'd gone Helixes he probably could have won it. But you live and you learn. Calculated about 8k Sexiie did, probably because he had that 3rd supply in the center for a bit and he had more oils for most of the game, and loads more units destroyed. Actually that's double, isn't it? More than double units destroyed for Sexiie, so well played. Infinity also losing, or Exile rather, losing 7 buildings, which gives Sexiie the XP. So if that game had gone on any longer, we would have seen carpet and artillery, and that would have been even more deadly for Exile. Okay, so on to the potentially last game, depending on if Exile has a decent army now and can win this. Actually, it's looking like a pretty decent army. So Exile actually got Tox against GLA. I would prefer to have the Tox because you have Scorpions that can fire toxin shells from the start of the game. You don't have to upgrade anything from the palace or anything. Technicals are the same price as GLA, but you've got the toxin tunnels, which are much stronger as well, which prevents the enemy GLA from like pushing into tunnels. Even just 1 tunnel can pretty much hold its own against like 5 quads, for example, or 4 quads, and they can cause some severe damage to any oncoming attack. So let's see how fast the war factory's up for each player, because this makes a big difference. So we've got a faster war factory for Exile. Is he going to be doing a fast TerraTech from that? I would probably like to see that, because if you're going to be beating Sexiie at GLA Murray, probably want to be getting a nice TerraTech off in the beginning. Sexie's actually going for a 3 supply build order, which I do not like at all. Every time I try and do this, or every time I see players trying to do this, all you see is a fast technical run by. Just run through here, kill all them workers, run down here, kill all them workers, run over here, harass some workers, and you can just harass with multiple techs. Because what Sexie's done is actually, because he spent all of his money on supplies, and then the tunnels are going to be late. Actually, that tunnel is going to get up just in time, so actually it might not work out too badly. But it's just like you've got so many places to defend if you're going to do 3 supplies, and you're not going to have as much map control. So you can see now how Exile's got like tunnels all over the place. You just kind of trade in those tunnels, like 2 tunnels. You're trading it for 1 supply instead. But the longer the game goes on now, Sexie's at an advantage because obviously he has done the 3 supplies, nice and greedy. This technical probably going to go down. That's probably going to be GG. It's probably GG. Just based on that, completely stopped. That's really, really unlucky for Exile. One lucky thing for him, he has managed to box off this correctly and stop the technical getting in. Is the technical going to be able to get in here though? I think it's probably going to go down, yeah, just because the toxic tunnel is so strong. It does manage to make the workers go inside though. Now Exile's got to micro this again. I don't know if Exile has realised he's against 3 supplies here. I don't think he's scouted this right hand side. Workers are going to be chasing to the tunnel here, but I don't think he's scouted this on the right hand side. Technical probably going to go down. He's going to kill 1 worker. He's going to kill 1 worker. I don't know if that would have died actually if Sexiie hadn't moved it. Exile keeping up the pressure again, which is exactly what you want to do, but I don't think he realises the enemy's on 3 supplies. If you don't realise that and you're not successfully harassing the workers and you just leave him to do it, then it's going to be bad. One way you could have done that is by a waypoint scout. You could have waypoint scouted. If you don't have the fog, you just press a waypoint there and see. Still don't think he's seen it actually. Another tech coming in, but just walking straight into RPGs. Sexiie doing a good job of holding off these techs. Oil also going up for Sexiie, so Sexie's money boom here is working out pretty nicely. He's successfully defending against most of the attacks. I really like Exile's aggression, but he's just not really dealing enough economic damage. Workers is now going to go down for Exile. He does have this nicely positioned worker over, tunnel over here, so that's going to be able to get some nice techs in. Exile now sending a quad over there. And realising his enemy is now on 3 supplies, soon to be 4, and Sexie's also on oil as well. These RPGs are probably going to be going down. And no Scorps from Exile, and no fast 3rd supply from Exile either. It was all from that first terror attack. It's all gone downhill from there, to be honest. As soon as that gets stopped. Sexiie only collecting with 1 worker here. Not sure what those 2 are doing there. He is now on 4 supplies. He probably needs to bunker off this with a few more tunnels, and then probably, well, definitely needs to be getting that refinery, and then maybe wants to upgrade into a palace. But I probably wouldn't upgrade to a palace for a while because he knows he's at an academic advantage now, so he can continually push. His enemy's probably not going to be on a palace. Second war factory going up for Exile, but he's not on enough supplies. He's chosen to go for 2 quick supplies there. Unfortunately, they're going to go straight down. Not enough army out for Exile, and not enough workers killed. So he needed to kill more workers, and he needed to transition faster into Scorps with rockets. I think building 2 supplies really quickly and all the workers, that's a really expensive investment. That's probably why he's got no units out now. He's also built a fake barracks, but it would have been better to have more units out rather than a faster fake... sorry, did I say barracks? I meant to say fake arms dealer. This is looking really badly. Slowly, Exile has been picked apart. This tech could go in the back there and force fire the ground over. Sexiie choosing to go for a barracks there. I think he's trying to block off some units. I think a unit can just go down the back there still. This tunnel is still alive for Exile. Exile not going for his tech buildings, his oil and refinery. Sexiie really hasn't done any like aggressive tunnels. He's kind of just like secured the areas that he needs to get his money coming in. He's actually upgrading to a 3rd arms dealer there, and Sexiie takes the game. So that's going to be 4-2. For Exile, you can see... Sorry, did I say for Exile? I meant to say for Sexiie, of course. Sexie's 31 units killed against 12. almost double the money, quite a bit more, 10 or 11k, 12k maybe. So yeah, well played by Sexiie. He goes through to the next round, and Exile is unfortunately out. For round 1, that is a hard player to go against, Sexiie in the first round, but really, if you want to be winning a tournament like the World Series, you're going to have to be beating players like this to get through to the, well, if you want to win the whole thing, otherwise you're never going to win. So yeah, GG, well played by Sexiie, and unlucky to Exile.